Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is March 16th. We've got the quarterfinals and half of the semis wrapped up. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? This is the second time I'm recording this episode, so hopefully it's better than the first time because there was issues and problems, but that doesn't mean I can't try again. The World Baseball Classic is coming to its unfortunate end. We're at the finish line. We have 2 games left in 2 days, and then that's it. But don't worry, the regular baseball season is 10 days away from the official opening day. 9 days away if you want to count that Yankees-Giants game that gets the little opening day, opening game, special with Netflix, I think it's on, whatever it is. Anyways, over the last weekend, we saw the quarterfinals baseball games happen as well as our first of the 2 semifinals. We'll get into all of that shortly here, but man, this World Baseball Classic has had everything, so much entertainment. It's so sad to see it go, but it's been very, very enjoyable to have it here. With that being said, let's dive into these quarterfinal games. The first one being Korea versus the Dominican Republic. We're in the quarterfinals. We're in the top 8 teams. They battle for the championship. These are where the games get very close, more intense. There's so much more at stake for these teams. These games get incredible. And the DR is mercy ruling Korea in 7 innings. Like, there's dominance, and then there's what the DR has been in this tournament. They've been on another level. Christopher Sanchez, he bounces back in this game after a tough first start. He goes 5 innings, 2 hits, a walk, and 8 Ks. The offense in this one, they score all their runs, the first 7 runs, without a home run. They get 3 runs in the second, including an RBI double from Junior Caminero, which scores a diving Vladdy. Tatis also had an RBI single in this inning. They add 4 more runs in the third, with Vladdy getting an RBI double, Machado an RBI single, and then 2 bases loaded walks. Korea in this inning used 4 pitchers to get 3 outs. Not a recipe for a winning ball club here. This game wraps up in the 7th with 2 runners on. Austin Wells goes down and gets one. He hits the walk-off mercy rule home run to finish this game in 7 innings. The DR defeats Korea 10-0 and is on to the semi-finals. Yikes, Korea. I mean, Korea, I believe, was the only 2-2 team coming into the quarterfinals here. I'm pretty sure the other 7 were either 4-0 or 3-1. But this was just a mismatch from the rip. I mean, I felt kind of good about Korea's chances. There were some good players throughout the pool play. Hyunjin Ryu, yes, he's up there at age, but he's still got a nasty stuff here. But the DR was all over everything. They were running the Maverick on the bases. They had great defense. I mean, everything you want from a winning ball club, they had it. Check, check, check. Next thing you know, it's 10-0, and they're celebrating early here. What a win. What a win. They're off to the semifinals, and they would face the winner of this next game that we're going to be talking about. And this is kind of a big one. For some, it's the USA versus Canada. Canada in their first quarterfinals in their WBC history. And to be honest, they kind of seemed a little sluggish throughout this game. A couple hits, but not taking that big chance. The defense was a little meh. But this is the USA we're talking about, right? This is the WBC juggernauts, this absolute power unit force of a team that no one should want to face. The USA grabs a quick lead in the first. Kyle Schwarber, he'll ground out, but Bobby Witt and his speed comes in to score. But Judge was on third after this, so Canada did a good job at keeping it only the 1 run allowed in the first inning. USA, they add two more in the third. Alex Bregman, an RBI single, and then a little help of a throwing error from Abraham Toro. Two more runs come in to score in the sixth. Bryce Terang, an RBI single. PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, an RBI single. And after 5 innings of nothing besides a couple of missed opportunities, couple base hits here and there, some, below par defense, Canada finally has their quarterfinals mark. Tyler Black, he singles and scores the first run for Canada. But after that, USA goes to a lefty to face Bo Naylor. And Bo crushes lefty on lefty crime. An absolute bomb. A 2-run shot. And all of a sudden, what was a bleak first ever quarterfinals appearance for Canada has turned into a 2-run game and some hope to maybe bring it to the USA a little bit. But these last 3 innings, the 7th, 8th, and 9th, the bullpens locked it up. I mean, the 5 pitchers that came out for both teams putting up 0 after 0 after 0 after 0. And in the 9th, when Mason Miller comes out for the save, the way he's been pitching, I mean, this game was as good as over, as USA holds on to beat Canada 5-3, and they now have a date with the DR in the semis. Good showing from Canada. Obviously, their best WBC in their history. If the game ended 5-0, I would have been like, oh, well, you want to have at least something, show a little bit of a contest, or at least put up a fight. But that Bo Naylor home run really helped lifted spirits. It really helped, it's like, okay, well, maybe we could. In the end, they still fall to USA, but most teams do fall to the USA. That's why they're the WBC juggernaut that they are. It's why they're the team to beat in this tournament. So keep an eye out for them as we continue on in this tournament here. We move on now. Puerto Rico versus Italy, the third quarterfinals. Hello, PR. Puerto Rico, leadoff dinger from Willie Castro. You could have a feeling from that point on that this game was going to be a little bit crazy. We always love a good leadoff home run to start a game. Bottom of the first, how about 4 Italian runs? Yeah, that's right. Who had that on their bingo card? Italy in the first went walk, strikeout, walk, then an RBI single from Vinny Pasquantino, an RBI single from Dominic Canzone, an RBI single from Jack Caglione, who was followed by another walk. A sac fly scores the 4th run before the strikeout ends the inning. Italy comes back from down 1 to take a 4-1 lead. In the second, Puerto Rico, with the bases loaded, they only score 1 run on a hit by pitch. Italy induces that 1 run. They get out of the jam. And then in the 4th, Italy had so much fun scoring 4 runs in an inning, they decide to do it again. Andrew Fisher, a 2 RBI double, and then JJ Doriazio followed up with a 2-run ground rule double. Italy was in control, and they're up by 6, but there's still a long way to go in this game, and a still very good Puerto Rico team to get through. In the 8th inning, Puerto Rico realized that if they want to win this game, they would also need to do what Italy's been doing, which is scoring 4 runs in an inning. So they decided to do one of their own. Eddie Rosario, an RBI ground out, a wild pitch brings in another run, and that inning was capped off with Christian Vasquez, a 2 RBI single. And all of a sudden, PR is back into this one. They're down by 2. But shout out Greg Weiser from the Boston Red Sox. He comes in, gets the last 2 outs of the 8th inning, stays out in the 9th, and gets a 5-out save in this one. Italy remains undefeated and underrated in this tournament as they move to the semis. The first time in their history, they beat Puerto Rico 8-6. Absolute insane stuff from Italy. They keep on winning. They keep on doing it. And, people got to give them the credit. Like, this team has been doing it all WBC long. They've beaten USA, they've beaten Mexico, they've handed it to Brazil and Great Britain. Now they've beaten Puerto Rico. Like, they have been a phenomenal team. This game, by the way, no espressos, no home runs were hit. So now you've seen Italy being able to, get a couple runners on, hit the home run, and go from there. But now we've seen them been able to string a couple hits together. I mean, they had 3 RBI singles in the first inning alone. Recipe for a winning team, and they're on a heater right now. We look into the last quarterfinals game between Venezuela and Japan now, and probably the best quarterfinals game out of the 4. 2 great teams, and what a game this was. And if you love leadoff home runs to start an inning, well, you would love this game because we get both of them. That's right. MVP Ronald Acuna Jr., he gets Venezuela started with a leadoff home run in the top of the first, but NL MVP Shohei Ohtani says not so fast. He also hits a leadoff home run to start it for Japan. 2 MVPs in the past and technically current because Shohei just won another one. But yeah, they both hit leadoff home runs to start this game. Really fun way to get what was a very fun game started. Venezuela takes the lead back in the second as Gleyber Torres rips a double. 2-1 Venezuela. In the bottom of the third, however, we saw why Japan was the defending champion. They score 4 runs in the inning. They get an RBI double from Teraki Sato to tie this game up, and then Shota Morishita launches a 3-run go-ahead home run, and all of a sudden, from down 1, Japan has a 5-2 lead. But don't think that Venezuela can't keep up with Japan, because in the 5th inning, Royals third baseman Mikel Garcia, he blasts a 2-run home run out of here. It makes it a 1-run game, and in the very next inning, Venezuela makes its statement with 2 runners on. Up stepped Willier Abreu, and he unloads on a high and inside fastball, sending it way gone for a massive go-ahead 3-run home run in this game. Venezuela takes the lead, and Lone Depot Park is losing its mind. And from that point on, you can tell Japan got a little flustered. Their at-bats were a little worse. Some defense, miscues, and their defense wasn't up to par. And it shows later in this game because a botched pickoff attempt at second base, the pitcher throws it high above the second baseman into center field, and Ezequiel Tovar was that runner, and with his speed, he's able to score all the way from second to home on that error, and that's a nice insurance run for Venezuela. As Daniel Palencia comes in, shuts the door to finish this one. They end it, getting Ohtani to fly out. What a way as Venezuela upsets the defending 3-time champion Japanese team of the tournament. They move on to the semis for the second time ever to face Italy. They beat Japan 8-5 in what was a brilliant quarterfinals game. And ladies and gentlemen, that means our semifinal matchups are set. You have the USA versus the Dominican Republic on one end, and then you have Venezuela and Italy on the other end. And this is why we got to give more, respect to the World Baseball Classic and more flowers, because you could not write a better tournament bracket right now. Like, this is very fun and it's very exciting because on one end of the semifinals bracket, you have USA and the DR, 2 of the best teams in the WBC's history. I mean, USA, their first ever semis appearance was in 2009 in the second tournament. Then they were the champions in 2017, and then they lost to Japan last time in 2023. But they've made 3 top 4s in their history of the 5 prior tournaments. For the DR, they made the first ever semis. They were in the semis in 2006. And they won it all in 2013. So while it's been a while since they were in the top 4 here, there's still 2 times they've made it into the semis in the top 4 here, including a championship. So combined for USA and DR, that is 2 semi appearances. you have a runner-up and two champions in the 5 years of this tournament's history. For Venezuela and Italy, I mean, you have Italy, who's never made it to the quarterfinals, let alone the semifinals. And then you have Venezuela, who's made the semifinals once in 2009. So you've got a combined one side of the bracket with one semifinals appearances, and you have a combined, another side of the bracket where there's two champions and five, semi plus appearances. So you got two contrasting teams. I love it. It's very exciting. And with that being said, the first semifinals game happened yesterday. So let's give it its flowers and talk about the USA versus the Dominican Republic, the game that everyone was hoping we would get to see, and we got it for the semifinals. Two great teams, Paul Skeens and the USA versus this stacked DR offense. And as stacked as it's been, this game did not have much scoring, but it was very enjoyable. There was some great baseball besides one thing. In the bottom of the second, the DR gets it going. Junior Caminero, his third home run of the tournament, a solo shot off of Skeens, and a 1-0 lead for the DR. In the top of the fourth, though, here comes USA. Gunnar Henderson, he gets a solo shot of his own that ties the game back up. And a batter later, it's Roman Anthony that would go deep for a third solo shot of this game and give America a 2-1 lead. Caminero, Henderson, Roman Anthony. What do these three players have in common? Oh, yes, the AL East Division. I digress. We had some great defense in this game. Of course, Bobby Witt Jr., per usual, is showing out, man. This guy can get to any ball in the infield. And how about a little flashback between these two teams back in 2017 when Adam Jones robbed his teammate Manny Machado from a home run in a now iconic moment in the great game of baseball. We got that in this game, a little bit less of that dramatic though. Aaron Judge, he crushed one to center field, but there was Julio to make the jumping catch to rob Judge. He says, no, not so fast. Gives him the X there. Aaron Judge tips his cap. We're going to move along now to the ninth inning, the bottom of the ninth inning. The DR has the tying run on third base. Let me paint you this picture, right? There's 2 outs in this game. USA is 1 out away from going back-to-back into the finals. They have the 9-hitter, Geraldo Perdomo. He is up to bat facing Mason Miller. Fernando Tatis, the 1-hole hitter, he is on deck. A base hit would score the run. It would tie the game at 2. A home run would send DR into the finals for the first time since they won it all in 2013. And Perdomo and Miller would engage in this duel, in this battle back and forth. We end up in a 3-2 count. Mason Miller chooses to throw a curveball, and it's ball 4. Fernando Tatis comes up to bat. Wait. Strike 3? Strike 3? Mason Miller's curveball gets called for strike 3 as Perdomo goes down looking to end the game on an awful call. This curveball was about 8 inches below the zone. How do you miss it? An unbelievable way to end this ball game. DR gets a heartbreaker thanks to an awful umpire call. And hopefully that's the last time we ever have a moment like this across baseball, across all levels of the game. USA wins it 2-1. They're off to the finals in back-to-back tournament years. This was awful. You can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot make that call in that moment in that game. You're in the semis of the World Baseball Classic. In what world could you possibly think that was strike 3? Anyone watching it, I mean, I'm sure the umpires down the lines were saying, No, man, you can't do that. This has to be the worst ending I've seen in a baseball game since going back to 2021, that playoff game between the Dodgers and Giants that ended with a check swing call that was nowhere close to a swing, and yet he was called for it. I mean, this was an awful way to end a great game. Some people will be like, oh, you need offense to have a great game. No, this game was amazing. You had two teams putting it in their all. You could see it in the defense. You can see it in the plays. The pitchers were great. They kept getting out of jams and runners on. It was a great, great ball game, and you end it with the worst part of the game. You can go to any point. If you go back and watch that game again, you could skip to any at bat, any inning, and it would be intense. It would be a good moment in the game to watch. From the first pitch to the penultimate pitch, this was an intense, exciting ball game. And that last pitch, that one last pitch, not ruins the game, but it causes just this story and this new, like, it just ruined it. It really did. If it was a good pitch, a good fastball, if it was a curveball that was in the zone, but we're talking, it was like 8 inches below the zone. It was not close. You have some people saying, like, oh, if it's two strikes, anything close, you got to make a swing on it, because it's better to go down swinging than it is to go down looking. And yeah, that I agree. If I'm batting, I would rather swing and miss on my own terms than look at strike three. I agree with that. But the big key word in that is anything close. It was not close at all. The pitch was so low that even if Perdomo swung and let's say he put it in play, at most it was a weak ground out to end the game. So what should have been ball four and bringing up another winning run to the plate in Fernando Tatis Jr., everyone goes home, shakes hands, yappa dappa. Like, it was bad, man. It's really unfortunate that that's how we had the game ended, honestly. Like, this is why ABS is the thing now. This is why we need ABS. And I hope that the next WBC has ABS in it, because I'm so tired as a casual, like, not a casual baseball enjoyer, but as someone who had no particular interest in who won. I didn't care if the DR won. I didn't care if the USA won. I wanted a very good, intense baseball game. I love baseball. That's what I wanted. And to have it end like that was just so like I just watched this game for that ending, really. Like, that's like when you watch Game of Thrones or whatever TV show that has like 6 seasons of amazing, just great television, and then that last season comes out that they're doing as a cash grab money, and it's the worst piece of garbage you've ever watched. Like, you go through such a great journey, a great ball game, and it ends on a pitch so below the zone. It was unbelievable. And like, even with ABS, and this is what I'm saying, like, oh, I hope ABS is here next time around because that won't happen anymore. Even with ABS, those moments like that with bad strike calls and all this stuff, it's part of the game. It will never not be a part of the game. You're hoping that it will remove most of it, though. But guess what? Even if ABS was in this WBC, there was a chance that maybe DR in that stage of the game had used up both their challenges, and then they wouldn't have anything, right? And then the strike call would have still stayed. Everyone would have still been pissed about it, and that would have moved on. At least the counter argument is now, well, you had a way to challenge it, but you messed up and you used them earlier in the game. To me, that makes a little bit of a difference, Like, if we're talking about, oh, they had a way to change that call and didn't because they already messed up and used them prior, then it's like, okay, that still sucks that the game ended like that, but now that's on your strategic aspect of it. I'm really curious on how ABS is going to change the game, because, yeah, those kind of moments, it's still going to happen. If you lose both your challenges early in a game, let's say, then you're screwed for that last pitch. That's the very last pitch. of the game. And like, listen, I know not everyone's perfect, and well, no, not not everyone. No one is perfect. That's the whole point. No one is perfect. Those things will happen, but it just sucked to have that be the pitch that gets called. Yeah, like if you were gonna make one mistake, it just happened to be that specific pitch. And the umpire was good throughout the game overall. I think in total he missed about five-ish calls, and like maybe only two of them were bad, like really bad. But of course, the worst one being 8 inches below the plate. I don't know how you missed it, but I digress. The ABS should hopefully remove a lot of it. But again, yeah, it then becomes a strategy aspect of when we use our challenges because yada yada and all this stuff. I digress. USA wins it, DR loses it. Let's take a look at these last two games because we're not done yet. The WBC has two more games left. The first one being tonight, Italy versus Venezuela. The winner will go into the championship game, both for the first time. They've never made a championship game, neither Italy nor Venezuela. And they will have everyone on their back, hoping that they can beat America, take down the USA. Italy 5-0 in the tournament to this point. Venezuela 4-1. Italy is sending Aaron Nola on the mound. Originally, it was supposed to be Michael Lorenzen. They made a last-minute switch here. It will be Nola. Venezuela will have Kaider Montero on the mound. This is a do or die game. Either Venezuela will go to 5-1 and go on to their first championships to face USA, or Italy will go 6-0 and go to face USA in a rematch game. By the way, with the DR losing, Italy is the last undefeated team in the tournament. Who could have made that prediction? Italy has been so damn good. If we look to tomorrow on Tuesday, this will be the championship match. USA is set to play in it, and they will face the winner of today's game, being Italy or Venezuela. It's most likely going to be Mets young starter Nolan McLean, who goes for the USA if nothing changes, if that's who they're hoping gets to start for tomorrow. Hasn't been officially announced, but it's what Mark DeRosa wants. If it's Italy, I'd expect Michael Lorenzen to get the ball again. I mean, he's the guy that pitched against the Americans in pool play, and he's the guy that got swapped for Nola. And it wasn't like last minute scratch or anything. No, it was a strategic move by Francisco Savalli. So I'm not sure if he wants Lorenzen for USA or if he wants Nola for Venezuela. But either way, it was a choice, not an injury-related thing. If Venezuela wins, I'd expect to see Eduardo Rodriguez to start the game for the championship match tomorrow. So there are questions we'll have to see, but for now, Italy versus Venezuela. I'm on Italy right now. I'm hoping Italy goes and beats Venezuela and then beats USA. I mean, what a story that would be for Italy to go 7-0 in the WBC, beating out Mexico, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, and beating the USA twice. I mean, from this point on, since Italy beat USA, every game they've played has been their best win in the WBC history. I mean, they beat USA. Oh my God, we beat USA. That's the best game ever. And then we beat Mexico, and it's, oh my God, we're in the quarterfinals for the first time ever. And then you beat Puerto Rico, and oh my God, we're in the semis for the first time ever. And like every game has been just better and better and better. And if they can do it again today against Venezuela, I mean, the USA versus Italy rematch would be insane. And I mean, for USA, if you win that game, then at least it's like, hey, we got our revenge game. Everyone in USA is happy, and we're America, and blah, baseball, yada, yada. But if you're Italy, then it's like, yeah, we beat America twice. We beat the team that everyone thought would have no issue and win the WBC like that. We beat them twice. That would be insane. So these are the last two games of this tournament, and this is where this episode will end. I love it, man. It sucks to see the WBC go, but we've got two more great games, including the championship match. We'll be talking about all of this on Friday. So Friday's episode, we'll look over these last two games. We'll look over the WBC as a whole, give out some flowers, give out some MVPs, say our final goodbye to the WBC. From that point on, we'll have Monday, which will be our predictions episode, and then that will take us to the start of this season. I mean, from today, on Monday, the 16th here of March, we are 10 days away from the official start, the official opening day, the big day where everyone plays, mostly everyone. Of course, the Yankees and Giants. The first regular season baseball game is in 9 days. Giants and Yankees, on Netflix, whatever it is. Like, that's going to be exciting as well. So as sad as it is to see the World Baseball Classic go, it means the regular season is less than 2 weeks away. We're basically here. Very excited for that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, everybody, so much. And I will see you on Friday.